spoken and unspoken. What are the successful outcomes that you're trying to achieve in your lives? These are the very same questions the city has been fiercely trying to explore for years. Our journey is not done yet. It feels as if we have just started. And I'm here to just talk to you or give you a little bit of glimpse of what we have done so far and where we're going. Good afternoon, folks. My name is Raj Shroff, and I'm here from Citibank. I'm a member of Client Experience Organization within Citi, and our job really is to drive client experience end-to-end across North America businesses. And we're also exploring global opportunities at this point in time. I am actually very delighted to be here, and when I heard that you have a lot of these customers here, I'm even more delighted that I think Rick here has done an excellent job of inviting real customers, those who are actually going to be involved in the process and actually going to get the benefit out of it, to listen to this conversation. So I'm actually very much honored as well to be a part of this engagement here. And so having said that, let me just talk to you a little bit about Citi. I think you know a lot about Citi already. I think we came under heavy scrutiny in 2008, and I think the whole world really came to know us. So Citi Corp really has two major businesses. One is the first one is Global Consumer Banking Group, and the second one is the Institutional Client Group. As you can see, we are one of the largest banks in the world. We are in about 140 different countries. We have over 100 million customers, and so on and so forth. About, I would say, 57% of our business comes from the global consumer banking, and the remaining comes from the transaction services business and securities and banking business within the institutional client group. Just to give you sort of an idea about the transaction services area, we move about $3 trillion of money in a day worldwide. That's big. If Citi stops working in that transaction services area, few hundred companies, or I would say hundreds of countries, not companies, countries, will not be able to pay their employees. That's how big that business is. So anyway, I am not here to pontificate about myself or Citi. Just wanted to give you a depth of the businesses that we are involved in. So we have, within global consumer banking, we have retail bank, we have branded cards business, and then we also have retail services business where we are looking at some of these co-branded cards, and I'll give you some idea about what they are. And then of course we are in the Citi mortgage business. So these are some of the products we have. You may be familiar with many of these. I had an opportunity to work on the Simplicity card. This is the product that came out of one of our work we did for one of the executives in cards area. And we are also involved with the dividend card and the Advantage card and so on and so forth. So we have done some really good work around improving customer experiences and setting up new foundations around that. And the Advantage card, if you don't have one, I highly recommend that you get one. That has received several different awards at the industry level. So with that, we are talking about customer focus. And then you would say customer focus at Citi, and then you would go, what does customer focus really mean to Citi? Why is Citi so much involved in customer focus? It is already a world's global bank. It already has so many clients. Customers need to come to Citi. Why would Citi come to customers? So what is our burning platform? As I was mentioning to you, the 2008 crisis actually stopped the music for us. Everybody came to a standstill. We had to really rethink how we operated our business. Government was actually supporting us, you all know that. So that actually became our burning platform. But it's really not about getting knocked down. Muhammad Ali actually taught us. When Sony Banks actually got him down onto the floor in the first couple of rounds. What did he really do? He actually got up. It is about getting up, guys, and it is about doing something totally different. And that is the story I'm going to tell you. So it is really a paradigm shift for Citi, and it is still happening. It hasn't really, our journey hasn't stopped yet. So with Vikram Pandit, taking over the helm of our company, he did many good things. And one of the most important things that he did was putting together this mission statement for us. And I'm not going to read through this mission statement at all, but you can see that, if you read through that, it really totally drives customer centricity. And this has become a key driver for us across the globe. This is one way that he took the initiative to unite all of our businesses across the world. So with that in mind, being a key driver, one of the things you would perhaps notice as you embark on your Baldridge journey is, it'll ask you about key factors, and key factors that really set the way your organization really operates. And one of the key factors for us is this mission statement for us. So paradigm shift, as I was talking to you about the paradigm shift that was taking place at Citi, and this is a very famous quote from Mahatma Gandhi. A customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. So we are talking about really a Copernican shift in our thinking. Earlier, it used to be the case for banking industries in general that banks would expect the customers to come to you, and then banks will decide whether or not we can do certain things for the customers or not. Today, that paradigm has shifted, at least at Citi. We are very much centered on the customers, and it is being driven from top. It is absolutely being driven from top. I tell you that one small story. I was a student, and one of my friends had a Citibank card, and it was very glossy and white and very, very catchy. So I said, when I have a job, I'll probably apply for one and get one. And applied, I did, and I got one from Citi. And one day, it so happened that my payment got delayed a little bit. And it wasn't delayed, actually, there was some confusion there. I thought I mailed it to Citibank, but it was sitting in my book somewhere. So it was my mistake, of course. And so I called up customer service, and I asked them, if they could remove the late fee for me. I've just mailed the payment. And they said, sir, I can't do it. You're not allowed to have a late fee removal. And then I told her that, I would even close my card. And the lady said, okay, go do it. And I closed my card. That was like about 15 years back, I should say. Today, it has dramatically changed. There have been some significant initiatives taking place today in our company that are proactively suppressing late fees if the customers are late. That is a significant shift in our thinking. We are not focused on short-term profits. We are focused on building relationships and getting long-term good profits. So that is the kind of shift that has been taking place in Citi. So achieving best-in-class in customer experience is actually a must-win battle for Citi. This is one of the top 10 must-win battles from Manuel Medina Mora, who is the global head of consumer banking business. I've mentioned to you that the 57% of our business comes from the global consumer banking group, and Manuel Medina Mora actually runs that business for us. And this achievement of the best-in-class customer experience is one of his top priorities, and that is galvanizing the whole organization as we speak. So this is kind of our journey in a nutshell. As I mentioned to you, we've been in existence for over 200 years. We've been in more than 100 countries. And we had crisis in 2008. But really, our journey to customer experience, intentional customer experiences, I should say, not erratic or we say, experiences that just happen by chance. So intentional delivery of customer experiences is really critical. So intentional journey really actually started in 2006 when we actually launched an assessment of our organization and truly understand exactly what it is that drives a successful organization. And what we came, the realization that we came to was that it's the culture that actually drives a successful organization. But culture is not about, culture does not exist in vacuum. It's about people, and the culture starts from senior most level and stops there. So they are the ones who are actually going to need to change before anybody else changes. So culture actually became a key sort of enabler of the work we wanted to do. And in this diagram, I must mention to you that if you draw a diagonal line from the center, you would see the work, the journey we have taken, and on the top you would see how I've connected the journey to the Baldridge maturity process. And this has come straight from those pictures have come straight from Baldridge's award criteria. So we did the culture piece. We then launched new client-centric metrics. It was a group of front office and back office organization. We actually invited all functions to participate with us in that journey. And we went across the entire journey that the customers really take with us, and I'll show you an example of the journey. But really, I think even then, we were thinking about it from an inside-out point of view. When I say inside-out point of view, we were saying, okay, we're going to target the customer, we're going to acquire the customer, we're going to do this to the customer, and go do that to the customer. That was still an internal view of looking at the customer or understanding. But at least that exercise really helped us understand those top metrics that are critical for delivering superior experiences and creating the differentiation in the minds of our customers. Am I speaking too fast? All right, let me know, okay, because I've been given clear instructions to speak slowly, all right? So, all right, so we brought all these guys together. We did the assessment of metrics. I'm going to share with you a couple of metrics. Two of the metrics that really came out of that discussion were the first contact resolution metric. It is a very important metric for call centers, especially when the customers are calling into the call center to resolve an issue or inquiry. Let me just give you an understanding of the magnitude of the issue here. Citi receives used to receive about anywhere between 30 to 50 million calls a year only in the cards organization, which is about 25 to 30% of our business. 50 million calls a year, once upon a time. So resolving customers' issues in that first contact is an absolute essential thing for us. We don't want customers to call us back and go through the problem, go through that effort of resolving their issues. So that first contact resolution became an important metric for us, even within operations. And you could see that organizations are very much siloed, but even within operations, you have several different functions. You have customer service, you have credit, you have fraud, you have collections, you have so on and so forth. And everybody had a very different sets of metrics that they were holding themselves responsible for. So by bringing that FCR metric in the limelight, we broke the silos down. We united the organization, at least within operations. So when I say cards operations, we're talking about close to 40,000 employees. So it's very big. So we brought that. The second metric we had was the Net Promoter Score. And many of you are perhaps familiar with it. The Net Promoter Score actually just asks this question to the clients. Will you recommend this product, service, or whatever to your friends and colleagues? And then customers rate you on a scale of 0 to 10. 9 or 10, those who are giving you a rating of 9 or 10 are promoters, 7 and 8 are are passives, and 0 to 6 are detractors. So NPS is nothing but the difference between percent of promoters and percentage of detractors. So it goes way beyond satisfaction. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but it is not just about improving satisfaction by looking at the bottom. You have to look at both bottom and the top. So Net Promoter Score allows you to do that. You look at your promoters as well as detractors. And that kind of was a shift for us in our thinking. And really, it allowed you to move from loyalty to, I think, advocacy. I think Dr. Raina just talked about, engagement and making sure that the customers recommend you to your colleagues and friends. So it is not just about getting the business from your customers, but also your customers' friends and colleagues. That is the power of Net Promoter Score. So with that, we moved on. Around 2008 or so, we did organizational alignment by bringing these metrics into the scorecards of individual employees. And especially, I think, we had the culture of, in the call centers of, selling anything to the customer. Whenever you call into the call center, you're going to be sold something, and hopefully, I think that actually, took the little bit of focus away from really resolving customers' issues. So we actually brought that FCR metric into the scorecards of our frontline employees and managers and directors. We also brought NPS score in their performance management system, as well as the satisfaction with associates. So that really actually changed our behavior and perception around the priorities and resolving customers' needs and issues. We started doing email surveys. Normally most organizations have, or many organizations have phone-based surveys, but we launched email surveys. And our email surveys are dynamic enough to help us understand exactly what we need to understand from the customer. So those questions in the surveys are constantly changing or updated, at least. But that couple of questions are common on FCR rates and the Net Promoter Score. But other than that, we constantly keep changing our surveys, and we have surveys coming for every single associate in our business. And that really helps us understand exactly what the customer's perception are around the interaction with the customer. Not only that, but it also gives us the opportunity to improve an associate's performance, as well as find process-level opportunities for improvement. We also launched the J.D. Power Associate Survey to understand competitive nature of our business or market perception. Then we also moved to a 10-point scale. We were measuring our performance on a 5-point scale. And then 5-point scale, we were looking at the top 2 boxes, and those top two boxes were like in 80s and 90s, and people were just gung-ho on that. So we actually said, okay, we don't have enough discrimination power in our scaling system, so we moved to a 10-point scale. That actually gave us a very significant boost in understanding where the improvement opportunities really were for us. We also launched the FCR improvement teams, still focused within the operations area. And all of this was being driven by the customers, by the way. They were telling us where their problems were through the surveys and through all these focus groups and stuff like that. And then we were improving within the operations world. Then came this whole deployment. So now the Net Promoter Score, while it was still sitting in people's scorecard, it really hadn't become a very center of attention. So after 2008 or so, I think Vikram Pandit came in and he brought several other folks along with him. And suddenly, I think the focus on Net Promoter Score significantly changed. And it started coming from top. And then actually we were ready. We were actually in the process of bringing that into senior executive scorecards, and timing was just perfect. So we started our journey on centralized infrastructure deployment, where we actually brought in the people from operations and front office together. Front office people are the people who are actually sitting in New York City. They are the marketing folks, they are the HR folks, they are risk management folks, and policy folks, and so on and so forth. So we brought all of these folks together to collectively understand exactly where our highest priority opportunities were from customers' point of view. We launched several, so that's where the touchpoint prioritization came into picture. We launched 2 different surveys. So I talked to you about the operations survey. That became our bottom-up survey. And then we had the top-down survey. The top-down survey that happens on a I would say quarterly basis, that actually helps us understand from city's point of view, customers' perception about our products, about our our brand, and so on and so forth. And so it's a relationship-based survey, and then the bottom-up survey really actually the transaction survey. So we bring them together, and then we launched several action teams. There were about close to 400 people within just the cards business focused on improving Net Promoter Score at a strategic level. And Net Promoter Score is everyone's responsibility, but really these teams were focused on strategic improvements. We also installed closed loop process, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that closed loop process. And then there are several other things that we went through in here. And then, of course, our journey to client experience improvement. We have done continuous improvements, breakthroughs, and then now we have multi-channel focus. So I just wanted to spend a little bit of time here, and then I think subsequently I think it will be much easier for us to sort of understand exactly where I'm coming from. So this next piece is about the first contact resolution rate, and we proved to the management that first contact resolution rate actually helps us improve customer satisfaction significantly. So you can see that the customers who called us only once right here had a 96.1 and had the inquiries resolved in that first contact, had a significant improvement in their satisfaction. And this is kind of a scientific analysis, a scientific tree I'm showing you. These are all mutually exclusive groups. And you can see that our percentage, our FCR rates have gone up from 57% of low to almost 76%. So for a company or for a business, cards business, this is cards data, that receives about 30 million calls a year, they have 9.5 million more satisfied customers here. So now, I think we talked about voice of the customer data and all these in the channels through which we are listening. And from here on, I think you will see that I'll be talking a little bit about the continuous improvement work, where I think we're talking about listening to the customers, but listening to the customer is happening in more or less a reactive manner. You get the survey data and you act. You get the survey data and you act. But I think towards the end, I'll show you something else that is very exciting for us. So in this situation here, we actually set up a committee of senior managements. It's Client Excellence Management Committee that has the authority and empowerment to fund the requests that we are asking them to work on. So in this situation here, you have this group, all these survey, all these listening posts, the client for suggestion boxes. We have presidential unit, we have quality monitoring, and so on and so forth. And then you have all these SMEs, a network of SMEs who actually would look at the collective. Look at the survey responses or the voice of the customers in a collective manner, and then come up with the root causes of issues, and then come back with the solutions. And those solutions will actually be presented to the Client Excellence Management Committee, and then from there we will launch teams to actually execute those solutions. So something like that is still in place. Here's another example of how quantitative analysis we have done in the past that has helped us zero in on a high priority area for our customers. This is the data coming from a customer satisfaction survey that is done on a daily basis. We receive thousands of responses on a daily basis, and we analyze them on a periodic basis. And so we're looking at the delight with agents and knowledge, and then FCR rate, and then looking at the volume data to understand how that is driving the overall customer satisfaction here, and then where the improvement opportunities are. And we use this to launch. We launch our action teams, launch our operations improvement teams to actually help deliver solutions that will be actually felt by the customers themselves and result in a superior perception, superior delivery of customer experiences. And a lot of the times, I think they are heavily IT-driven solutions, and it is the senior management's job to really help us with that availability of those resources. I talked to you about the Net Promoter Score. This is what it is. The customer rates you on a scale of 0 to 10 on that question. and then you decide whether, what your Net Promoter Score really is. Several books are available out there in the market that you can look at or buy for more information. This is kind of, again, I'm transgressing a little bit here into another category, as pointed out by Dr. Ryan Knox. This is kind of an execution of a Net Promoter Score. This is going into operation effectiveness. I think it's category 6, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. And we have set up this NPS steering committee and another set of executives who actually meet on a very regular basis. And then underneath them, you have all these other groups that are actually helping us and deploying this NPS infrastructure throughout the organization. It is on everyone's scorecard across the world. We receive competitive reports on performance of every single line of business, every single function around the world. We compare notes and we exchange best practices, ideas for collective improvement. So we are making an effort to really make this whole individual knowledge the organizational knowledge. So the learning is happening in a double loop manner. Individual knowledge to an organizational knowledge. The organizational knowledge is the one that is going to give you that competitive differentiation. And here is another setup on the action teams. You can see that we have identified all of these areas, and we have people from all across the different lines of businesses to help us improve our organization based on what we are hearing from the customers, based on what we are listening and understanding from the customers' needs and expectations. So I think it has had. We meet on a monthly basis, and then I think twice a month or so, or twice a bi-monthly basis, I should say, with the senior management team, and we update them on all of our reviews. An exciting thing happened during the NPS infrastructure deployment process is the launch of the closed loop process. And in that closed loop process, what we do is if we receive a response back from you and you have not given us a good rating, let's say you're in the rating 0 to 6 rating group, we are going to give you a call inside of 24 to 48 hours to understand exactly what went wrong in that interaction and how can we really help you with that particular issue. And we have, within, this is just again Cards organization, this is a group of about close to 200 people working on this right now. It's their job, part of their jobs. They also take phone calls, of course. They have a little bit more empowerment than the other folks. And just a simple example I would give you: point of sale. You are standing at a shopping station and you're just about to swipe your card, or you're swiping your card and your card gets declined. Many of you may have seen that happen to you. And we have been working very hard to actually remove that issue for customers, but it still happens because of the risks associated with the process. So just the mere fact that we call the customer back after we received a bad response from the customer has helped us regain their confidence. Just calling them back and explaining to them exactly why they were stopped in itself was a very big deal for the customers. So here is another example that I want to give you. I think we keep talking about paradigm shift and stuff like that. This has to do with assessment of the customer needs and expectations across the life cycle of the customer. This is a very important tool if you want to really interested in creating the differentiation of the city. We are doing that. We've completed 4 or 5 different projects, and they all have had some really good results. Now, as you can see, I think at the top, I just want to walk you through that journey very quickly. We have the on top, you would see that there is awareness stage of that customer journey. Now, let me just take you back for a second to the previous example I gave you. In the previous example, when we were doing the assessment of the metrics, I said the first stage for us was target the customer. That's what I told you guys, if you remember it. We're going to target the customer, we're going to acquire the customer, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. That was I think it was a good improvement because we were looking at it from an end-to-end point of view, but it was still not being customer-centric. It was still being inside out. Customers do not think like that. Customers don't say that, hey, my journey starts when you start targeting me. They will not say that. From a customer's point of view, it is about awareness. You become aware of a product. Then only you will have an interest in the product. Then you will decide whether or not to use that product. Once you decide that, you will take the next stage, you will commit to it, you will perhaps call a Citibank line, or you will apply for a product online or whatever, right? And then you do so on and so forth. Now what's happening in the process is the emotions you want to evoke at each of the stages of the journey. When the customers became aware of your product, you want to inspire the customer so that the customer shows an interest in your product. Once the customer shows an interest in your product, you want the customer to become confident that this is the right product for the customer, for whatever it is that they're trying to achieve in their lifestyle. And then so on and so forth. So what we have done here is we have created this journey map along with all these intentional emotions that we want to evoke in the minds of that customer. And you can, this journey mapping work is a very, it's very generic in nature. You can modify it, change it. We actually worked with customers actually themselves to help us understand that. And then underneath that you have all these challenges, needs, and issues the customers are trying to achieve. And then you would actually run an exercise. This is a group of exercises. This is an exercise that's done in conjunction with a cross-functional team. You're talking about breaking down the silos. This is how you break the silos down. You bring everyone together in the room. You pack them up for 3 days, close the door, and tell them that you cannot leave until we have a solution. Agree? That's how you do it. And you hold them accountable to it afterwards. So really that's what we did. We all immerse ourselves in customers' shoes. We have actually taken a group of people, very senior level executives. This happened last year in Wilmington, Delaware. We took a very bold step. We said, let's just immerse ourselves in the experiences that the customers go through. So I took them to a restaurant in Wilmington, Delaware, Iron Hill. And we worked with the Iron Hill restaurant owners to create a specific set of experience for them. And that experience was intended not to be going so well. And so well, it did not go. So one of the executives of Citi actually started tweeting that this is what is going on at this such a exclusive restaurant. I cannot believe the service over here. Guess what happened there? The CEO of that restaurant caught hold of that tweets and immediately called us back. That is the power of customers listening, guys. I'm talking about very real time. It was a really good learning experience for us. So if that restaurant can do it, why can't Citi? And I think that set the foundation for us for creating a journey mapping exercise for us, and then coming up with proper solutions for them. I've done other similar experiments where actually I've lived the journey myself, and I applied for the products and went through the process to understand exactly what goes on. And I created something called heart monitor. And I don't have a copy of that here, but that heart monitor actually showed real emotions that I went through as I was going through the journey. And I shared that journey with people in New York City 2 weeks back. And I showed them, guys, is this the experience we want to deliver to the customers? So I think in all good intentions, Citi is doing the best that it can to deliver superior experiences for the customers, but there are always opportunities for improvement, and this happened to be one. So the good news is that all those people who were in the room, they were very open to listening to the experiences and doing something about that. I think that's a big change. That's a big change in Citi. So with that, so we have this exercise that happens inside the company, and then we actually invite the real customers themselves. We want to listen. We want to hear from them directly. Dr. Knox talked about surveys and stuff like that. That is still reactive in nature. We need to innovate, and that innovation happens when the customers are in the room with you, co-creating. So what we did was, and I'm going to share with you this video. We actually invited 26 lead customers for a dividend card product, and we merged them with another set of 26 city executives, and they collectively designed customer experiences. It was a wonderful experience for both city and the customers. So let me just take a minute to share that video with you. Sorry, volume is not there. There's no volume. Should I try this?
It should be coming out.
My apology.
It worked before.
It did work, yeah, absolutely it did. Or we can try this mic.
Yeah, but it should be coming out. There should be sound coming out of this thing.
No?
Recently, Proprietary Product Management collaborated with NAONT Client Experience Organization to design end-to-end ideal customer experiences. A cross-functional team with members from product management and operations was formed. As a first step, the team immersed itself in completing its own internal assessment of customers' needs, emotions, and expectations end-to-end. By imagining themselves as real customers, the team members developed solutions through an end-to-end customer journey mapping experience. The city then invited 26 lead customers to our Jacksonville site to participate in a co-design exercise, along with several senior directors representing functions that had direct impact on customer experience across myriads of touchpoints. These were real customers who used the dividend card product. The customers were recruited through a well-defined screening and interviewing process. These interviews resulted in creation of 4 different personas, also called scenarios, based on customer spend behaviors and outcomes that they were trying to achieve.